Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to hear you sing and play, and it's been way too long that we waited for this to happen. I'm glad it has finally.
Oh, thank you.
Us
We are too.
Yeah. So, and that Paul Simon tune is one among many from your latest effort, 15. Whole bunch of different songwriters on there, old songs, new songs, but lots of contemporary songwriters.
Yes. Yeah.
So Warren Zevon, Tom Petty, Emmylou Harris, Patty Griffin, and others. How did you choose the tunes for the new record?
Well, a few we'd been playing for a while. So there were some, I think about 4 of them were ones we'd been singing for quite a while. And then the new ones were just anything that any of us found really touched us and really impacted us and we felt would be good as a Jennified song.
Jennification of these songs. The Dolly Parton song worked fine, being Jennified. So I want to talk a little bit about that very first show in 2002 at the Music Store in Winnipeg. Did you get a sense then that this was something that was meaty and mighty and was going to work well? You need to kind of be coerced, right? The guy who ran the music store was sort of like, come on, do more of this, right?
He encouraged us by giving us our name, actually.
Yeah.
He said, you guys are going to become a band for sure. You need a name. And that show did sell out really fast, so we added another show, and then that sold out, and then we started getting requests to come and play shows all over Canada, really, that following summer. So, yeah, we did get a sense that something was happening, and it was a lot of fun. We were pretty green and just really doing it for the love of it, and that's the kind of magical feeling you want at the start of something.
And what's so cool is throughout your now 16 years together, you've been able to hang on to your audience too, that shares in that cool feeling of discovery and connection. And Heather, of course, has been in the band now for 11 years or something like that, so the majority of the time. I should mention that most people have some awareness of Canadian folk festivals, but I don't think that's a small thing. My guess is, in your evolution, Canadian folk festivals, including Winnipeg, they have this great tradition of being incredibly inclusive. They bring all kinds of musicians from all kinds of traditions. They love the mashup. They love on this stage, there'll be the bagpiper, the blues singer, the Native American flute player, and the bluegrass band. Go! And it's often doesn't work, but sometimes it does. And
It doesn't really matter if it doesn't.
It doesn't matter, right. It's just... But I can see you guys kind of coming up and coming of age in that community because there's like a series of gigs that are there and all across Canada, and it must have helped a little bit, right?
For sure. There's a really strong community across Canada, and we were very lucky to cut our teeth there. So it was a lot of touring across the country, which in Canada is a big deal because it's so big, and there's so much. There are hours between cities, but it was tons of fun to be meandering across the country and playing all these great gigs.
Yeah. Now I know that there have been 3 women singing together for a long time, well before the Andrews Sisters, for example. But I do think of you guys kind of as pioneers in your generation. You sort of created a sound that others have looked towards, and do you feel like you kind of broke some ground?
Well, as you said, there have been many before us, so we definitely don't take credit for the idea or anything, but it certainly is an honor to see a lot of female trios popping up here and there, for sure.
And let me ask you about when you first sang with Heather, because it seems like the range, the various ranges of your vocal ranges and your tone and your timbre, it must have just, it seems like you were just kind of made to sing together. So when the 3 of you got together for the first time, was that one sort of one of those aha moments?
It was. I went to meet them. We were in Philadelphia. They were playing a show with their previous member, and so we got together in the handicapped women's bathroom, and I think we sang Amazing Grace or something. And I felt like singing with my sisters, and we all had that feeling, so it was sort of made to be.
Well, it sure sounds good. In case you're just tuning in, you're listening to eTown. I'm here with the Wailin Jennys. And I should probably pause and wonder, I don't know if are we breaking any new trade rules with all these Canadians on stage and stuff? I don't know. Is there some... I'm willing to pay the fine, actually, you know. I just couldn't care less. Tell me about, you mentioned that it sounded like you were sisters singing together. I'm thinking about my 3 sisters or my 3 daughters and their various personalities. So when you guys are on the road, like who's driving and who's navigating, usually?
I think I'm usually driving
Yeah.
and navigating.
Ruth is sleeping, and
That's not true. Nikki and I manage the band actually, so we do a lot of
It's
of
true.
work.
Yeah.
But it's true. We make Heather drive.
Yeah. Who's the last one in the van in the hotel lobby? Who's the last one?
My brother Richard.
Okay, because they're all this, you know, what about crisis management? Who wakes up and it's like, okay, I'll solve that when there's a problem?
it depends on the problem. But
Nikki, I think they're
Nikki,
pointing to you.
Yeah.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think if something's on fire, I'm okay in that circumstance. But Ruth, if there's some sort of business, she's usually right on her computer. I think she must wake up at about 6 in the morning and just jump immediately on her computer because I can't get to those emails fast enough. But she's on it.
There's a lot involved with keeping a band together and having a team, players and agents and managers and just the whole logistics of touring. And then you 3 chose to add to that complexity by all 3 of you having kids. So how does that affect your genification?
Well, we've taken a few hiatuses off the road against our agent's wishes, but you know, we've always really prized our own lives outside of the band, and that's served us well. So yeah, we've taken breaks off the road to procreate, as you say, and so now we are all, yes, we have the children. The children are here.
Yeah. And I will say that one of the cool things that I noticed, because I went to see your show 9 months ago or 10 months ago in Boulder at the Boulder Theater, and your fans have stuck with you fiercely through those hiatuses. Hiati. Or whatever it is. But it's pretty cool. I mean, that's a real testament to your sort of the emotional range and depth that you bring to the shows, and folks, they just love you. It's cool.
We're very lucky. We have very steadfast fans.
And I think that I just want to touch on the new record again. I'm trying to think of which songwriters Paul Simon, Tom Petty, Jane Sibrey, Emmylou Harris, Dolly Parton, Patty Griffin. There's a bunch of them on there. And I'm somebody who receives a lot of new records, and we all do this. We all reach for a record because there's some emotional connection to whatever our experience is at the moment that we feel will be enhanced or distracted or somehow changed by having that connection. I have to say, your record, listening to it a few times, it's really, it kind of fits every mood. I was amazed. I was like, well, I think I'm going to listen to that. So if you have an opportunity to check out their new music, the record is called 15. The artist, again, is the Wailin Jennys. And the songs sound great. You all sound great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, the Wailin Jennys.